Dennis Kozlowski and the $600 million corporate fraud. In the early 2000s, corporate America was shaken by a series of scandals that exposed fraud, deception, and abuse of power at the highest levels of business. Companies once trusted by investors suddenly collapsed under the weight of financial misconduct. Among the most shocking of these scandals was the case of Tyco International, a global conglomerate worth tens of billions of dollars. And at the center of the controversy was its powerful chief executive officer, Dennis Kozlowski. What began as one of the most successful corporate careers on Wall Street would end in one of the most infamous cases of corporate looting in American history. Dennis Kozlowski joined Tyco International in the 1970s. At the time, Tyco was a relatively small manufacturing company, but under Kozlowski's leadership, the company expanded aggressively. Throughout the 1990s, Tyco acquired hundreds of businesses across industries ranging from electronics and healthcare to security systems. The strategy was simple: grow through acquisitions. Company after company was absorbed into the Tyco empire. Investors applauded the rapid expansion. By the late 1990s, Tyco had become one of the largest conglomerates in the world. Its market value soared to more than $100 billion, and Dennis Kozlowski was celebrated as a brilliant corporate leader. But behind Tyco's extraordinary growth, prosecutors later discovered a very different story. Instead of simply running the company, Kozlowski had begun using it as a personal bank account. Investigators found that millions of dollars were being secretly transferred from Tyco to fund the lifestyles of top executives. Unauthorized bonuses were issued. Corporate funds were used to purchase luxury homes, art collections, and extravagant personal expenses. Some of the spending quickly became legendary. One of the most famous examples was a $6,000 shower curtain purchased for a lavish apartment renovation. There were also multi-million-dollar parties, expensive jewelry, luxury furniture, and fine artwork. Much of it paid for with company money. According to prosecutors, these expenses were disguised within Tyco's financial structure. Loans were issued to executives but often quietly forgiven. Bonus payments were approved without proper authorization from the company's board of directors. And many transactions were hidden within complex accounting entries. In total, authorities alleged that Kozlowski and other executives had taken approximately $600 million from Tyco, money that belonged to shareholders and investors. The scandal began to unfold in 2002. Regulators and investigators began examining unusual financial activity within the company. As details emerged, investors were stunned. Tyco, once considered a model of corporate growth, suddenly faced accusations of massive internal fraud. The company's stock price plunged. Confidence in its leadership evaporated almost overnight, and the public began asking how such large sums of money could disappear from one of the world's largest corporations. Federal prosecutors launched a criminal investigation into Tyco's leadership. Dennis Kozlowski and the company's chief financial officer, Mark Schwartz, were charged with multiple counts of fraud, conspiracy, and grand larceny. The charges allege that the executives had orchestrated a scheme to secretly enrich themselves while misleading shareholders about the company's finances. The case quickly became one of the most closely watched corporate trials in the United States. It unfolded during a time when public trust in major corporations was already shaken by scandals at companies like Enron and WorldCom. The trial revealed a detailed picture of executive excess. Jurors heard testimony about lavish spending, hidden compensation schemes, and internal efforts to conceal the transactions. Evidence showed how corporate funds had been used to finance personal luxuries. At one point, prosecutors even presented evidence of a $2 million birthday party in Sardinia for Kozlowski's wife. The celebration included celebrity entertainment, extravagant decorations, and ice sculptures, all allegedly funded with company money. For many observers, the spending symbolized the culture of unchecked executive power that had developed within some corporations during the 1990s. After a lengthy legal battle, the verdict was delivered. In 2005, Dennis Kozlowski was convicted on multiple charges including grand larceny, securities fraud, and falsifying business records. The court found that he had systematically looted the company he was entrusted to lead. Kozlowski was sentenced to 8 to 25 years in prison. His co-defendant Mark Swartz received a similar sentence. The convictions marked one of the most significant corporate fraud cases of the decade. The Tyco scandal had far-reaching consequences. It forced corporations to strengthen oversight of executive compensation. Boards of directors became more cautious about approving bonuses and corporate loans, and regulators increased scrutiny of how companies reported executive pay. The case also became a symbol of the dangers of unchecked corporate power. For years, Dennis Kozlowski had been celebrated as a visionary executive, but behind the public image of success was a pattern of deception and excess. Today, the Tyco scandal remains one of the most famous examples of corporate looting, a case where the leadership of a major corporation abused its position for personal gain. It serves as a reminder that corporate success can sometimes hide serious misconduct beneath the surface. Because in the world of big business, trust is everything. Investors trust executives to manage companies responsibly. Employees trust leaders to protect the future of their organizations. And when that trust is broken, the consequences can reach far beyond. A single company, Dennis Kozlowski, once controlled a global business empire worth billions of dollars. But in the end, his legacy became defined not by corporate success, but by one of the most infamous scandals in modern business history. A cautionary tale about power, greed, and accountability in corporate America. Because when leaders treat corporations as personal property, the cost is paid by everyone who trusted them.